Their endeavors range from business to philanthropy, and now they'll be honored as inductees in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. If tariffs weren't enough to concern South Dakota ranchers, now it's the fear of a worm crossing the southern border. The fate of a foreign doctorate student at the School of Mines continues to play out in federal court. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. A South Dakota Mines student waits for the courts to decide her future in the case filed against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Arguments were heard in federal court today regarding a preliminary injunction against the Department of Homeland Security. Priya Saxena is a recent PhD graduate of South Dakota Mines who received notice last month that her student status and visa had been revoked due to a prior traffic misdemeanor in 2021. The government has since reinstated her status. The injunction, if granted, would prevent the Department of Homeland Security or ICE from revoking her status again based on the same information, and would allow Saxena to apply for a work visa for her area of study. Well, today was not as sweltering as the past 2 days, but it still felt a tad warm. Do we have any relief on the way? Meteorologist Ryan Larmew is in the First Alert Weather Center with a sneak peek at the forecast. Yeah, a little better for moving around outside today.
Yeah, it wasn't that summer heat that we expect in July and August, but it was still warm, warmer for May than we usually see. But temperatures outside still feeling warm this afternoon, this evening. Seeing lots of sunshine, though, over West Rapid City. This is our tower cam on Skyline Drive up here at the station. Golden West weather cam showing that sunshine shining on the west side of town, and radar is showing a few clouds actually moving over the area. The sunshine in bits and pieces as we are seeing those clouds moving over the central stretch of KOTA territory. However, temperatures right now still a little warm, especially out on the South Dakota Plains. Phillips sitting at 85 degrees, but on the other end of the spectrum, Sheridan is at 63 degrees. As we zoom into the Black Hills right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 60s, 69 in Rapid City, 70 in West Rapid for a warm spot, and these temperatures will continue to cool down over the next few days. Plus, rain chances are increasingly likely. I'll be talking about all of that coming up. Jack?
Thank you, Ryan. The USDA has suspended cattle, horse, and bison imports through the southern border over concerns of the New World screwworm fly. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley spoke with the South Dakota Cattlemen's Association about the suspension and has the story.
Eric Jennings, immediate past president of the South Dakota Cattlemen's Association, says screwworm ending up in the U.S. would be costly.
The estimates right now, if the screwworm gets into the United States, then we would have to take control measures for the screwworm. It'd be about a $700 million investment.
Jennings says the U.S. would have to release sterile males into the population to eradicate the species. Screwworm flies release larvae into animals that burrow into the flesh, feeding on tissue.
The screwworm burrows down deep in, and so they'll get down into the internal organs. It's very miserable for the animal, can be fatal.
The screwworm was recently detected in remote farms with minimal cattle movement about 700 miles away from the U.S. border. The suspension announced Sunday is month by month until significant containment is achieved. In the meantime, consumers could see higher prices for beef as Mexican cattle are removed from the market.
That concerns me. Just from the fact that I don't want to lose any market share to competing proteins.
Jennings says cattle numbers are already low in the U.S. because of drought. The USDA says it will continue to work with Mexico. The agency shut down the border for live animal trade in November due to screwworm concerns, then lifted the ban after agreeing on protocols with Mexico. In Spearfish, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
Drivers looking to save on gas may want to fill up in Belfouche if they're in the area. According to Gas Buddy, drivers in Belfouche reported paying about $2.79 a gallon. Prices today in Rapid City were around $3.17 a gallon. The lowest prices of fuel in South Dakota, according to Gas Buddy, was reported at $2.48. The average price is currently $2.93. March 13, 2005, the United States Department of Defense recommended Ellsworth Air Force Base be closed. 20 years later, Senator John Thune took to the Senate floor to reflect on saving the base and what it means to both South Dakota and the nation. Thune was just 5 months into his job as a freshman senator when the possible closure was announced. He said in his remarks the Base Realignment and Closure Commission suggested a 12% chance of keeping the base open. Thune said in the over 100 days between the announcement to the final decision, South Dakotans worked hard to show the base was worth saving. In the end, the BRAC Commission voted 8-1 to keep Ellsworth alive. Thune added he and others have worked to demonstrate the value Ellsworth brings and ensure its future will never be in jeopardy again.
20 years ago, Ellsworth was said to be a liability. Today, it's very clear that it's a national security asset. And I'm working to make sure the base and the surrounding community have what they need to continue to play a key role in our national defense for generations to come.
Thune closed by speaking about Troy Mink, the Lemon native, whose nomination for Air Force Secretary will be considered this week. Monument Health continues to expand to ensure the company is keeping up with the growth in the Rapid City area. Today, Monument broke ground on their latest healthcare facility on Mall Drive across from Interstate 90. The approximately 17,000 square foot campus will have a freestanding emergency department, which will include a single trauma room, 8 emergency exam rooms, 2 inpatient rooms, and an ambulance garage. The facility will also include radiology and laboratory services.
We know we have to provide great health care. That's what attracts people as well to living in the region. And so we have a 10-year master facility plan. This is just one part of that plan. We have multiple projects through the Black Hills that we have planned.
Davidson adds they picked the Mall Drive location for the new building because it is an accessible location off the highway. It says more houses are coming to the area. The Mall Drive campus construction will be completed in the summer of 2026. Later on KOTA Territory News, we introduce you to 4 West River people who will soon be in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. After the break, we visit with a photographer who captures compelling images of Rapid City street people. Healing can come in many different forms. For one Wessington Springs native, it came through street photography. Brian Savage spoke to J.P. Caffey to learn why he takes photos of people experiencing housing insecurity across the U.S., including here in Rapid City.
After serving in the Iraq War, J.P. Caffey came home from Iraq in February of 2006 and developed alcoholism and narcotic addiction.
I was given an ultimatum by, people that I cared about then that, hey, you either need to go to treatment and get some help with this, or we need to cut you out of our life because you're killing yourself, you're very destructive.
Caffey entered treatment around 2012 and finished several months later. He was scared that he'd start using again, which led him on his search to find something that would occupy his mind. He found wildlife, landscape, and railroad photography, but realized it wasn't enough. Caffey reached out to some people he went through treatment with and says none of them were still clean at the time.
I thought of them out there using, and that's when it hit me that I should really start photographing that.
For the last 5 to 6 years, he has traveled across the U.S., including Rapid City, to photograph people experiencing housing insecurity.
I respect and appreciate photographs of struggle. So whether it's the, Great Depression or the Great California Migration.
Caffey says they're not the most pleasant pictures to look at, but they stick with you and have the chance to make the world a better place.
I think the greatest thing you can do is protect people that aren't as strong as you. And that gives purpose to life.
He says his photography humbles him and is a reminder of why he stays clean and sober. He adds he feels peace when he's with his subjects.
No judgment. I feel like we can be ourselves, and we can be honest, and we can be open, and we can talk about our struggles, and we understand one another. I like that a lot.
Caffey really wants the raw and realness of his photos to stick with people.
I want them to think it's not all black and white. There's a lot of gray, and we need to help people on the streets.
You can find Caffey's work through his Street Grunt Photography Instagram and Facebook pages. In Rapid City, Brian Savage, KOTA Territory News.
Meteorologist Ryan Larmew says that some beneficial precipitation is on the way for KOTA Territory. He lays out how much rain we can expect over the next 7 days. Your accurate First Alert forecast is next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Larmew.
It felt a little nicer outside today with a little bit of cloud coverage moving in this afternoon and this evening. We're still seeing that outside. Some shade now over downtown Rapid City. Temperature is at 69 degrees in downtown, but other places are a little warmer. Look at the South Dakota Plains. Phillips still at 85 degrees. Pine Ridge sitting at 80, but Northeast Wyoming, they're a little cooler. 63 in Sheridan. That's one of the cooler spots here on the map. Spearfish is not too far behind at 64. Custer's at 65. Zooming into the Black Hills, seeing the 60s in the Black Hills. Upper 60s and low 70s outside of the Black Hills and the foothills, but it's a nicer evening for us today. And we are seeing some cloud coverage across the area, and we could even be seeing some storms starting to fire up within the next couple of hours. Because tonight we have the possibility of some of those early storms. 55 degrees for a low temperature by the time we're waking up tomorrow, so not as mild as we've seen over the past couple of nights. Otherwise, if you're not seeing the storms, will be partly cloudy throughout the overnight hours, and we have that chance for some severe weather as those storms begin to pop up around 9 o'clock tonight. That's when the chance of these storms really starts to ramp up, and a few of those could go severe. Level 1 out of 5 marginal risk in effect for most of KOTA territory there. And as we head out the door tomorrow to head to work to start off our Wednesday, we're seeing the possibility of a stray shower or two, but by the time we're getting to 8 or 9 o'clock, we're starting to see 60s return to the forecast. Some good news for us, but during the day on your Wednesday, we're going to the forecast wheel. Isolated showers are possible during the day, and we will be breezy with the high temperature making it back into the low 70s. 72 degrees is our high temperature for our Wednesday. And we also have the possibility of some snow in the Bighorns. Bighorn Mountains, elevations higher than 7,000 feet, could see up to 8 inches of fresh powder, and wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour also possible. So if you're planning on traveling through the Bighorns to central Wyoming, you might want to add some extra time and make sure to have those snow chains handy because some snowfall could fall. Tonight we'll see those storms fire up and continue throughout the first half of the night, but by the morning things start to quiet down. We're just talking about a few clouds left around, but by the afternoon and evening some more showers and storms start to fire up on the South Dakota Plains. There is a slight risk in effect for much of eastern South Dakota for the day tomorrow. That's a level 2 out of 5, but I'm thinking KOTA territory stays on the sub-severe side. Thursday could be talking some showers across the area, very isolated, but I'm thinking this model is a little conservative having those showers and storms firing up. But by Friday morning, we're starting to see some sunshine and some lingering showers. But over the next 7 days, we're going to get some very beneficial moisture out of this occurring system. Up to 3 inches possible in the Black Hills and near the Bighorns, up to 1 inch to 2 inches on the southern South Dakota Plains, up to 2.5 inches on the northern South Dakota Plains and in much of northeast Wyoming. This will help out with those drought conditions that are across the area. But we're also talking about the breezy and windy conditions tomorrow, up to 30-mile-per-hour gusts. Thursday, over 50-mile-per-hour gusts are possible. And Friday, we're talking about the possibility of over 40 up to 50-mile-per-hour gusts. And that will calm down by the time we start the weekend. Tonight, though, temperatures in the 40s and 50s across the area. A few spots on the plains may not get out of the 60s, but we're 49 in Custer tonight, 53 in Sturgis, 55 in Rapid. We'll see those temperatures rise back into the 60s and 70s by tomorrow. We'll breezy with some isolated showers as temperatures make their way back into those 60s. 50s are likely for almost everyone by the end of the work week with some rain chances on and off throughout the next 7 days. A stray storm is possible Saturday, but that is our driest day of the forecast. Some sun and showers looking to start off next week.
50s and rain.
I know, low 50s and rain. We could be talking maybe even some snow near the Canadian border in Montana and North Dakota. I've seen some models hinting at it.
Want to mention one more thing, more good news for the KOTA Care and Share food drive. We got more information from the Mother's Day deal they had down at Reptile Gardens. We talked yesterday about the food. Also got over $1,800.
That's
raised.
awesome.
So yeah, great. So thank you everybody who helped out. Well, coming up, some local track and field athletes are gearing up for nationals. Plus, we check in with the Rapid City Christian boys tennis team. The Comets prepare for next week's state tournament. Vic Quick has all the details next in KOTA Sports.
Happy dinner time, everybody. A pair of local college track and field athletes have qualified for this week's D2 National Meet in Pueblo. Black Hills State's Braden Anderson will run in the 800 meters. South Dakota Mines' Cole Dauberstein will compete in the 400-meter hurdles. Now, the boys' state tennis tournaments will be played next week in Sioux Falls. The Class A tourney is next Monday and Tuesday, with AA teams taking the court next Thursday and Friday. After finishing second at state last year, Rapid City Christian is focused focused on delivering another strong performance. One of the Comets leaders is senior Matthew Subala. Now, Subala is a strong singles and doubles player. He is focused on finishing up his high school career on a strong note and giving the Comets a chance to do some big things at state.
It's a lot of fun coming out and playing with all my teammates. Over the years, I've gotten to know these guys really well. Obviously, it's a great time with Sterling, our head coach. Yeah, we just have a lot of fun. I would definitely say strength of my game is probably going up to the net a lot and making plays up there. I like to do that a lot. Having that success just kind of adds to the fun and excitement when you can go out and win and play your best, and yeah, it just adds to that a lot, yeah.
Pine Ridge's George Beteljeun is being inducted into the South Dakota Basketball Hall of Fame. Beteljeun was a member of Pine Ridge's 1987 state championship team and was named South Dakota's Mr. Basketball as a senior in '88. The Hall of Fame banquet is August 23rd in Sioux Falls. The Gillette and Post 22 baseball teams will meet up tomorrow night at Ladke Stadium in Gillette. The two teams played last Wednesday night with the Hardhats winning a tight game 4-3. Post 22 also went 2-1-1 against Missoula over the weekend and entered tomorrow night's matchup with a strong 10-1-1 record. Now, after falling to the Hardhats last week, the Rough Riders won 3 of 4 against Spearfish and Bozeman last weekend. Gillette checks in with an overall record of 12-9, so you can expect to see another tight game between these teams. First pitch is slated for 5:30 tomorrow out in Gillette. Now, tonight we will have a big game on the high school baseball diamond as Belfouche and Rapid City Christian meet up out at McKeague Field. The Broncs are putting together a nice season. They defeated Hot Springs 12-0 last night to run their record to 10-6 on the season. The Comets have won 5 in a row to run their record to 9-5. First pitch is slated for 7 o'clock out at McKeague Field, and I'll have highlights for you back here tonight at 9 and 10. Now, some big news for the world of Major League Baseball as Commissioner Rob Manfred has reinstated Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson today. Now, the duo has been banned from the game for decades for gambling on baseball. The move means Rose and Jackson are now eligible to be voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So there we go. Some exciting news there, Jack. I know you're a big Pete Rose fan. Pete will now, doesn't mean he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he will be eligible to be voted in by the baseball writers.
Sounds like that might be a while before that happens. Big NBA playoff game tonight, Vic.
That's right. Nuggets on the court tonight for Game 5 of their second-round playoff series against the Thunder. And it is indeed a big game tonight as the series is knotted at 2 games apiece. Last night, Timberwolves got a big win over the Warriors. Minnesota now leads that best-of-7 series 3-1.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. When we return, leadership, innovation, and dedication are the reason for 4 West River people will soon be inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame. Stay with us for the story.
Be sure to tune in to KOTA Territory News at 6 on Fox. Why businesses and consumers are bracing for potential inflation after the Trump administration's trade deal with China. Plus, we'll reveal the winners of our Rising Star of the West Scholarship Contest. Those stories and more are tonight at 6 on Fox.
The South Dakota Hall of Fame has announced a 2025 class of inductees featuring 10 people whose life's work impacted the state for the better. Our Zeta Jones highlights one of the inductees who made a significant contribution to the Black Hills tourism industry.
In the year 2000, my father was inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame, and the fact that here 25 years later I'm being inducted, oh gosh, that means a great deal to me.
In 1937, a young and fearless snake enthusiast founded Reptile Gardens just outside of Rapid City. Now, nearly 90 years later, his son is being recognized by South Dakota Hall of Fame for elevating South Dakota as a premier travel destination.
Been on the Governor's Tourism Board for over 20 years, going through 4 different administrations. I've done lots of travel shows and internationally promoting South Dakota. I'm very grateful and very humbled by the experience, and I really want to thank the board of the South Dakota Hall of Fame for honoring me.
The South Dakota Hall of Fame was established in 1974 to honor those who contributed in agriculture, arts and entertainment, general, historical, professional, and sports. Joining Brocklesby in the 2025 Hall of Fame class are 3 other West River standouts, including respected physician and servant leader Mark Harlow, veterinary and agriculture trailblazer Dr. John A. Ismay, and entrepreneur, philanthropist, and visionary leader David Wayne Snyder. There are 6 other inductees from East River, South Dakota, and all 10 will be celebrated at this year's honors ceremony on September 12th and 13th in Chamberlain, Oklahoma.
Reporting from Reptile Gardens, I'm Zeta Jones.
In addition to the class of 2025 inductees, the South Dakota Hall of Fame announced a new historical figure category, highlighting South Dakota's first Surgeon General, Valentine McGillicuddy, who's from right here in Rapid City. He also designed the region's first hydroelectric plant and advocated for the humane treatment of Native Americans. He passed away in 1939. Well, hopefully people did not pack the jackets away quite yet.
I hope not. They might need that light jacket soon. It's going to be chilly within the next week or so, but tonight we're not too bad. We're still a little mild, still a little above average in Rapid City at 55 degrees. A few early storms which could be severe and then will dry out by the morning hours, and then tomorrow back in the 70s in Rapid City, but 60s are expected elsewhere. Look at Sheridan, they're at 58. They might be a little chilly tomorrow, and it'll be breezy too with winds up to 30 miles an hour. And there's those jacket temperatures that Jack was talking about, 50s for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
We just put some grass seed down, so that rain is good news.
Very good news.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.